All right, so do you want to be the ultimate walking turret in Aliens Fireteam Elite 2? Well, today I have a build for you guys that is going to make everything synergize perfectly. Your turret, your bodyguard, and of course, most importantly, your dual targeting, which is going to tie everything together. And what makes this so beautiful is that not only are you a walking turret, but you have the turret for almost indefinitely. And in addition to that, the turret will automatically heal you as well. Super crazy build. Let's dive right into it. So, before we get started, let's take a look at what weapons we're using. Some of the weapons are a little bit interchangeable depending on what type of player style you like. I personally enjoy being a little bit more mobile, but you could alternate something, a little bit more lighter, like a SMG, assault rifle, rocket launcher. But I think the way I'm running it, it just fits perfectly because it makes you like a walking turret, and I'm gonna explain why once you understand all the synergy. So first and foremost, guys, we have this behemoth called the Burst Shotgun. It looks beautiful. It looks amazing. But not only that, it's actually pretty fire. So let's take a look at what we have on this one. So in this one, guys, we are running the following. We're running the underbarrel called the Defender Series Flat. This is going to give us stopping power. And I want you to remember this key phrase, stopping power, because you're going to see the amount of stopping power we have makes our build synergize so perfectly with our turrets, okay? Stopping power here, aim assist, and recoil. On here, we have the medium, we have the drum that's going to give us a little bit more ammo, and it's going to increase our reload speed, which we like. And in addition to that, we're running the narrow sights, which can increase our critical chance and our critical multiplier. As far as the augment, we're running the same augment for the particular weapon, which is going to increase our critical multiplier. So this paired with this one 7.5 and 12 gives us a roughly like around 20. Now, this is going to be optional. I like to run Incendiary because sometimes you don't know, you go to horde mode and you don't know if you're going to be playing against aliens, against bots. So this is interchangeable. I like to have Cryo, Incendiary when I'm playing because, some of them are vulnerable to fire, some are vulnerable to Kyro. So I like to alternate that as we go. But that's what I have in this shoddy. This is literally only used when I need to melt ads, like if you're noticing right here, and I need to melt bosses or really high target value assets like the elites. This is when we use this weapon primarily, and we don't use it at all either than that. Next up, we're running the Smart Gun. Now, we love the Smart Gun. Look how beautiful this looks, guys. I think I did a wonderful job customizing this, but with that being said, let's talk about this weapon. The reason I like this weapon is because it actually makes you a walking turret. I'm telling you, if you notice my game style here and the way we play it out, this thing is amazing because it synergizes so perfectly with the turret. And I'm going to explain once we get into the turret perks and how this ties in perfectly and it works well. It might feel a little bit weird when you look at it, but the synergy is so perfect. All right. So what are we running with this one, guys? We're running the Hammer Forge rifle barrel. It's going to give us weak point stopping power. Once again, stopping power. We're running the Gata, which is going to give us a 30% crit chance and a crit hit damage to 40%. We lose the handling, doesn't matter because since this has aim assist, it gives you the ability that you're literally always targeting the target and it's only going to shoot whenever it has a target in front of it. So the handling is not that big of an issue. As far as the augment, we're running the augment, the smart gun aim assist augment, and we're running cryo ammo on this one. Works perfectly because it actually freezes enemies right on track. Okay. For the sidearm, we are running the following. We're running this one called the M10 auto pistol, and this thing is a beauty, guys. I love this one because it does so well. So we're running the vented flash muscle, and what this is going to do is going to give us crit chance 30 and crit damage 40. And we're running the small magazine drum, which is going to reduce our reload speed, but don't worry, we'll pick up reload speed somewhere else. And we get max capacity and max ammo as well. And we're running this one, the MDS, giving us a 10% aim assist, weak point damage, weak point stopping power, which is really good. And it's going to reduce the spread. Amazing. And we're putting the Discharge MK2 trade in here, which is going to give us a 4% enemy slow, and it stacks up to 20%, which lasts 4 seconds, which is actually pretty good. Once again, running Incinerate. You could run Cryo in here as well. It does really well on Cryo or on any augment that you want to put in there. That's what we have as far as the weapons. Now, it's super important before I go to the mechanic perks that you understand the way the abilities work, and I'm pretty sure the majority of you already know. Of course, we're gonna have a sentry gun. You already know Bodyguard's kind of like a sentry gun floating in the air. But this is the main thing I want you guys to focus on is dual targeting. So dual targeting, the way it works is that anytime your sentry hits a target, anytime that your bodyguard hits a target, you're gonna do, and that target got hit by the sentry or the bodyguard, that target's gonna get 10% more damage if you shoot it afterwards. So it works really good with the synergy, and now that's gonna make perfect sense when we go into the perks. The minor updates items, we're running a grenade and we're running another sentry in the major items. Now let's take a look at the perks. So this is what we have for the perks, guys, and I think this synergizes perfectly. The highest I've been able to get the combat rating is 840, and it doesn't really do that much difference. I kind of like this one because it lets you kind of tap into every ability and get the most out of it. So let's start off with the one that we have the least stuff invested in, which is the dual targeting. Guys, for the dual targeting, we're picking up another 10%. So basically putting us roughly around 20% whenever we shoot an enemy that got hit by the turret or the bodyguard. Let's go to the second least one that we have stuff invested in, which is the bodyguard. With this one right here, guys, we have a increased damage and stopping power for your bodyguard. So once again, stopping power stacking there with the weapons as well. And we put this one, which is the increased uptime. Basically, what this is going to allow you to have is your bodyguard active for 60% more of the duration from the time being. And the thing great about here, if you kind of time this with your turret, like when it's about to get depleted and you kind of just, toss it up in the air, then theoretically you're never without a turret. You're always with a turret either floating above you or you're with a turret on the ground. So works really well. Now, as far as the stuff that we haven't invested in our turrets, we have the following. So we have force multiplier, which is going to increase the damage of 22% for the turret itself. We also have the increased stopping power by 22%. Now remember, our guns are doing power. Our guns are doing stopping power. Our turrets doing stopping power. Our bodyguards doing stopping power. Everything in their mama is doing stopping power, and I think it works very well. Next up, we have the first line of defense, which is going to allow you to have 100% temporary health. And this is actually pretty crazy because a lot of people kind of overlook this perk, but when you're playing horror mode or you're playing anything, there is nothing better than never having to use a medkit because your turret is giving you health. If you notice in the gameplay, you're going to notice that my bar, first and foremost, I never used a medkit. Number two, you're going to notice that my bar gets to like 47%, 50%, and then I got this little chunk of green, kind of like green side of the bar, which keeps growing constantly. That's because I'm getting, every time my turret is killing something, I'm getting health back, which is amazing. Then stuff we have become compatibility matrix, and this is actually pretty good because what this is going to allow you to do is that the damage bonus is going to last 10 seconds. Once the sentry turret has been active. So once it's active, it's going to deal 10 more damage, and then it's going to give, if the ability does not have a duration, then it's just will last for 10 seconds, but you got that 10% increase in damage, which is cool. Next up, we're running the dynamic delivery system. So it's going to fire 10% faster and gain enough bullets to do bullet penetration. And this is actually pretty good because bullet penetration allows you to break down armor. So this is very helpful when it's shooting elites or like mobs that have heavily armored. This is going to help it kind of just penetrate over that. Next up, we're running the artificial overclock. So the fire rate's going to get increased by 10%. We're also running the improved knockback, which is going to do, it's going to increase the stopping power of the ability by 10%. So we already have 22, and we're stacking up another 10. That's giving us 32% on stopping power, which is pretty good. And then we have the high voltage. What this is going to do is it's going to fire electricity ammo that's going to slow the movement of the enemy. This is really good because when you're using the smart gun and you're using it, since we're like a walking turret and you're using it that way, not only is your turret causing the enemy to slow down with the electricity, but you're also getting that cryo kicking in, and you'll see it in the gameplay. It's like they're getting hit by cryo, they're getting hit by electricity, they're getting hit by fire. All the elements are working in synergy, So regardless of whatever enemy you're fighting and whatever it's vulnerable to, you're applying two different sets of elements that they're not vulnerable against, which is actually really, really good. And that's what we have it round up all together. And that's the kind of like the build that I feel like works really well with him. And the way you want to play this, and you're going to see it in my gameplay, is you want to use your auto pistol as your primary weapon. And the reason we do this is because we want to waste as much ammo as we possibly can here, because your turret is constantly up. So what we do is we use the smart gun whenever we have those either intermissions where our sentry turret is down or our bodyguard is down. We use the smart gun as because it just fires so rapidly and only shoots stuff that is in target. It's just like an automatic turret. And in addition to that, it's applying cryo to the enemy, or whenever we run out of pistol ammo. And then whenever we get a crazy elite or a crazy boss, then we use the shotgun, which applies that nice, not only fire ability, but it actually melts the bosses pretty good. And there you guys have it. That is my Machinist loadout. Let me know and build. I think this is the best one out there. If you do have some changes you are making, or you have a build, let me know what you changed, what you like. And if you want to see another character, what character do you want to see? Do you want to see Marauder build, Duelist build, Hunter build, Specialist build, Medic build? Let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one.